Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Peace, Love, Faith, and Divine Union. This is Kanisha, and today I felt guided to do a reading for the Divine Masculine Collective. So, if you're a Divine Feminine listening in, this will give you some just understanding of what your Divine Masculine might be working through. I encourage you to take what resonates and leave what doesn't, and a little bit that is different from my readings versus what you will see um, in other twin flame readings or other tarot readers. I don't call myself a tarot reader. I do read energy, but a lot of people who do tarot reading will tell you what they think future events are or try to predict the future. And I 100% believe that when I do readings, I am just sharing with you the current energy that that person or the collective is in. So I will not be giving you like future predictions or telling you your divine masculine is coming back or they have to do this in order to be in union with you. I'm going to share with you like what they're moving through emotionally, probably physically, financially, spiritually. And then I encourage you to do the mirror exercise regarding your feelings that come up with whatever it is that I share. If you need support in that, definitely book a one on one session and I can help you go deeper in healing for your union and healing what comes up. But my goal is just to help you have a deeper understanding of what your masculine is moving through. And if this is truly your twin flame, you will be able to see where they are mirroring back to you the same core feelings or wounds within yourself. And so, say the masculine is like moving through lack around their finances, it might be a mirror to you where you're having lack around your finances or just lack in general. And so, the core of what you want to heal is going to be around lack and not choosing abundance within your life. So, if you need deeper support on that, I'm here to support you. But my desire is just to help you have a better understanding and just an idea of where your divine masculine is, specifically if you're not in communication. But I do set the intention that this is a reading for those who are in communication and who also aren't in communication, and really just get the core energy of the divine masculine collective. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I quickly ask just for support and guidance and clarity from my spirit guides and my angels. I ask for protection and protection for those who are reading this. I ask for only love and light, um, clarity and divine guidance. And I ask for just support in keeping this in a higher vibration and really helping those who receive this reading to go deeper on their spiritual journey and their ascension journey and healing. So let's go ahead and jump into this. I'm going to pull from multiple decks so I can get some clarity here and see what is going on with the divine masculine. Spirit, can I get the energy of the divine masculine, the collective of divine masculines for this reading? Thank you, thank you. As a reader, I also get really vivid visions, so I'll share that with you. I get feelings within my body and in certain chakras. Well, I get them in all chakras, but I get them in certain places through the body, and it's usually linked with like a vision or a feeling. So I'll share those as I go. All right, so the first one we have here for the divine masculine is recognition and reward. Really love that energy right up front here. All right, what else do we have for the divine masculine collective? And if you are a divine masculine joining me, welcome. All right, and then we have accelerated motion. Let's see if I can get this to not like reflect completely like that. All right, let's see. That's a bit better. Okay. Any more cards for the beginning of this reading regarding the divine masculine, please? And we have shadow work. Okay, so I like that progression here. All right, so the first thing that we have going on here is recognition and reward. Yeah, so I do feel like this collective that I'm picking up on is starting to see the fruits of their labor. It really does feel like with this card of them kind of looking down more towards their heart, that they've been going within. And with this light above here, they have been connecting with Source, with God, and they're starting to reap the benefits of their inner work. This collective feels a lot lighter. Um, it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel like a lot of grieving or sadness, which tends to be the energy I pick up a lot regarding the divine masculine, because they tend to stay in the space of like shame or guilt for their past choices, or maybe not seeing their divine feminine clearly. But with this collective here, I do feel like it is a much um, aware collective. I feel like they're very present with themselves. They're doing a lot of self reflection. And through that process, they're starting to recognize their true divinity. They're starting to really see themselves as divine. They're starting to step into their masculine energy. And they're starting to uh, feel a deep sense of reward within themselves of coming to this understanding and clarity of the fact that not only are they divine and that they are a spiritual divine being, but that they also have a divine counterpart, which is you, divine feminine. I also feel like they are being recognized and rewarded in their physical reality, whether it has to do with work or schooling, their job, any type of just recognition. It feels like they're being seen and they feel seen. That's the energy that's coming up here. I do feel like a lot of them are moving in a sense of just a new direction in their life, whether that's physically moving, but it just kind of feels like they had like a reset. Like it could be these last few weeks, there has been such a shift in energy, but it almost feels like there's this energetic reshift that's happening within the divine masculine um, collective. I feel like that they're stepping up into this space of understanding that they are the protector, understanding their role in grounding and security and stability within themselves so they could provide that for their divine feminine. And also, I'm feeling like a lot of pressure in my chest of like being released. They're also releasing like old thought processes and perceptions of not only themselves, but of their divine feminine and really of the world. They're starting to have, it almost feels like this blindfold come off, and they're starting to be very aware of what is happening around them. And it almost feels like there's kind of like this slow mo energy of time, even though time is like accelerating here, there's almost like this energy of like slowing down and kind of just looking around and recognizing what is true and what is real and what is an illusion. So this divine masculine is I shouldn't say this divine masculine because there's a collective here. I can see him as a group. There's a collective of the divine masculine that really is awakening to who they truly are at the core. And what I'm hearing is that has to do a lot with what the divine feminine is doing. As divine feminines, if you're truly doing the inner work, if you're, for me, it's doing the mirror exercise, it's meditating, it's moving through all of my feelings, it's focusing on myself and really loving myself to uh, the deepest core level of what I can and my capacity is, I see that shift happen within my divine masculine. So the divine masculine is telling you, like, because you are choosing to do this work, they are also doing this work too. It might look a little different than what how you show up in your inner work, but they are doing their inner work. And the masculine shows up more in the physical, while the divine feminine shows up inwardly doing her spiritual work inwardly. The masculine will heal a lot of their spiritual work in the physical. So you have to trust that even if your twin flame might not be doing the mirror exercise or meditating, they have their own process of doing their own inner work and reflection. Now, the next card, I really like this progression of accelerated motion. They do feel this pull and call to their divine feminine. And they do feel this, I wouldn't, the word that wants to come out of my mouth is force. We're going to use the word force. It's almost like um, they're in this space of being forced to open their eyes even more to this connection. And they're just feeling this draw. It's just what I'm getting. Like I'm seeing two magnets coming together. They're feeling this pull towards you. And they are feeling it's this energy of like I'm like getting like a firecracker. So they're probably like having like this fire lit underneath them to move and to have this accelerated motion towards their divine feminine. They're also seeing their divine feminine as the light here. And so divine feminine, as you see yourself as um just like this truth is what I'm hearing. Like when you see yourself as living in your light, living in your truth, speaking your truth, providing for your needs, and really learning how to be dependent on source and not on anyone else, you're healing codependency. And so it's like the masculine is learning how to look to you as the spiritual teacher that you are to them. They're seeing you as the light. And as you radiate your light, you're actually encouraging them to radiate their light too. And so this is where a little bit of the accelerated motion is happening. They do feel this call to come into union very quickly, but there is some insecurities that they're still working through. That's why the spiritual strength is here, is because they're having to still work through some of these heavier feelings. I'm getting heavier because of the way this like spiritual is having to the spiritual Buddha is like having to hold up this energy here, hold up this. It almost looks like a ceiling. But they're going within and they're recognizing their inner strength and they're not allowing themselves to entertain ego as much as they have in the past. And so they are coming to this truth and understanding that you are their divine counterpart and they want to show up in a way that is going to be beneficial for the both of you, which is healing their trauma, healing their misaligned beliefs, healing their fear of fully going all in and committing. And that's what that spiritual strength is going to require. Can I receive any more support or guidance within this deck of what the divine masculine is moving through spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically? Can I get some more support here? Okay. All right. So the divine masculine. Okay, there's quite a few coming out here. Give me 1 second. All right. So here's that heavier feeling I was talking about. That this collective is not, it's not so much like a, okay, this makes sense. Okay, so at this moment in time, it says suffering and silence, but that's not really what, it's not what the card is giving me. Like the card is giving me like, I have to do this on my own. I have to come to my own awareness of my relationship with source and God, because in truth, with divine connections, with your union is going to be able to survive all things when you have God, your creator, at the center of it. And so your divine masculine is like, I have to come to this place within myself where I'm seeking God, where I'm looking to my creator for all things. In order to support you, I have to go to God for support. So God moves through me to be able to support you. And so that's why this person is looking to the light. So there might be some divine masculines in this collective who feel this suffering, who feel their divine feminine is suffering without them. And there's going to be a disturbance. There is going to be a tower moment here of really releasing all of those illusions and letting them fall to the ground and move into the truth here. As you release any suffering, as you release any beliefs of illusions of lack, scarcity, that you're doing it alone, because in truth, you have God. You can never do anything alone. You cannot be abandoned. You will find that all of those illusions are going to crumble during that tower moment. And they might be moving through having to release people, places, and things that aren't in alignment with their truth, that aren't in alignment with their union. And that can feel very overwhelming. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, what is happening here? Overwhelming, and it can feel chaotic. This is how I felt right now as I was trying to speak. It's like this energy of feeling chaotic, and it does feel like suffering because we're having to release things that no longer uh, align with where they're going, but they are going to step into that truth. They are going to see the truth that all things are working out in their favor. And you have to trust that if you keep moving through the uncomfortable and you keep going to God and you keep healing the core wounds that are coming to the surface, you will come into alignment with all things that are for you. All right. What is the next energy that when the divine masculine moves through this spirit, what is it that they're stepping into after stepping into their truth? Yeah, look at that. You have the throat chakra. They're going to start speaking their truth. They're going to start speaking and communicating. It feels like 5 is also the number of change. So it does feel like there is going to be a shift and a change happening. They're going to step into their power here. I really love these cards. Can I get one more here? Regarding the energy the masculine will step into once they let go of these illusions that they're working through, this collective of illusions, because we move and heal in layers. So it's not like they're going to come to you perfectly healed, divine feminine, and divine masculine. You're not expected to come to the divine feminine perfectly healed. Like, part of the union is that you come together to help each other heal and do it together in the physical, but on a spiritual level you're doing it together because you're one. You're a divine union. You're one consciousness. Can I get one more card regarding this throat and power? One more card. Okay. Yep, yeah, prosperity begins. What beautiful cards. Okay, and at the bottom you have heart chakra, and what's sticking out here is love begins. So I really love that. That's a really beautiful, beautiful message here. So the divine masculine will be starting to move in their heart space and in their throat chakra. There will be more power and energy. They'll be communicating what's on their heart. They'll be communicating their truth. They'll be feeling safe and powerful enough to really stand in their truth and their power. They're going to show up more in their healed masculine than in their wounded masculine. And this is where prosperity will start to begin. All of that work that they did, again, I was talking about at the beginning, having that recognition and rewards. All of that work started from a seed and it grew that foundation to have a prosperous. I even said they're reaping the fruits of their labor. I love that this is the last card here. And so it is important that in order for the divine masculine to do this, you, divine feminine, are stepping into your power. You are speaking your truth. You are communicating your needs. You are loving yourself. You're moving from your heart chakra. And you're also allowing yourself to move from a place of unconditional love and allow that love to be poured into you. When you do that, divine feminine, you will see the reflection, the mirror of your divine masculine pouring into you. So, and that's the same for you, divine masculine. When you pour into yourself, you will see not only your divine feminine desiring to pour into you, but you will also see God pouring into you. Because when you give to God, divine masculine, God gives to you by your divine feminine receiving. So let me see how I can break this down to where it makes a lot of sense. When the divine masculine gives to the divine feminine and she receives him, she then gives to the divine masculine by receiving him. And when the divine feminine is giving to, she receives that and then she multiplies it. And so it's important that you're pouring into yourselves. You're going to God to pour into you, and then your cup overfulleth and overfills into one another. And that way, you're not seeking each other to be dependent on each other to like fulfill your needs, your wants, your to like fulfill the attention, the love that you need. You're both seeking it from God, which is this, how I get it. It's like this rainbow here and this cup being God, and you both like fill into that lake. It's not looking to each other because you guys are not each other's source. You guys are the reflection of your relationship with God to one another. So when I look at my twin flame, he is a direct reflection of my relationship with God. And so when I go to my twin flame and I want attention and love and he doesn't give it to me, he's energetically saying, I am not your source. You need to go to God. And every time I do, and I go to God for what it is I need, what I want, the love, the attention, and I really am able to receive it, guess who's giving to me? My divine masculine. So it's important that you're learning to have a healthy, interdependent relationship with your twin flame. All right. Can I pull from a different deck here? I'm actually feeling called to the chakra deck, so I'm going to take these. Thank you, Spirit, for the message here. I give a lot of information within my readings, so if you feel called to get a personal reading, I do offer those, and you can find those on my website. And I love to go really in depth. I pull from multiple decks, and I do a video reading so that you can go back and watch it, and you can really give yourself time to integrate the information I give you. I get a lot of feedback of like, wow, you gave me so much information and it's exactly what you need to hear. And it does take some time to process and digest. Let's see if I can fix that a bit. Okay. What do we have regarding the divine masculine? What is the core things that the divine masculine can focus on in healing in their spiritual part of their life? Because divine masculine is very much in the world, and so they're very much like connected to the 3D reality of having to like take action and physically like go out into the world and do things. And so I want to know what they should be focusing on spiritually. Spirit, what should the divine masculine be focusing on spiritually? Well, just throw that out. Okay. I love this card. We have balance, balancing that spiritual and physical reality. What else do we have going on here? I'm like hearing the divine feminine be like, what does the masculine want to tell me? It's like this energy of like, I want to know what he wants to tell me. Won't worry, divine feminine, we'll get there. Okay, we have presence here, like the divine feminine's in that that picture there. I don't know if you can see that. Like she's like all up in that picture. Oh gosh. You're very present in the divine masculine's mind. All right, we got truth again. All right, divine masculine. They're like, I'm ready to speak my truth to my divine feminine. I love that this card is 23 and the time is also 23 of this video. Okay. And at the bottom, we have play. I love this. We have play here. Okay, so they're coming into balance with their physical and spiritual aspect of their life. I'm also hearing like coming into balance with their divine feminine. That's what the yin yang stands for, is a balance between the feminine and the masculine. And that does require a lot of presence to be able to do that. Presence with your feelings, the emotion, the feelings in your body, what your intuition is telling you, what your reality is reflecting back to you, because your reality is a direct reflection of your inner reality. And there is coming this energy of having to come into balance with all of those aspects. They're really coming to the awareness of how spiritual they really are. It's almost like this energy of like the divine feminine's the spiritual one, but no, in truth, like you're both equally as spiritual. My masculine actually disciplined me in this one time where he's like, Kanisha, I understand like you do cards and you're very intuitive, but like I'm also as equally as spiritually as you are. And at first I was like, what? But like I really thought about a lot of the things that he has taught me regarding spirituality, and I was like, you're absolutely right. Like I'm looking at us separately when we're one divine being, we're one union, we're one consciousness. So there's no way that I could be more spiritual than my twin flame, because we're one. And for me to even entertain that is for me to see us as separate. So when you do that, I love that both of these have balance, like a balancing scale too here. I'm seeing this as like the divine feminine, it's water, so very emotional. And then you have your divine masculine, who's very fiery and passionate. And not that the divine feminine can't be, but there's a balance happening here. And so the masculine is feeling safer to come and speak his truth and communicate. That's what the blue also stands for, is communication, and the throat chakra. So it's a lot's happening under the surface. Even if you can't see it right now, it is happening under the surface, and it will come into the present moment and into your physical reality. So that feels really good, of knowing that the masculine is really coming into balance, being more present, really choosing, if not haven't spoken their truth yet, they're choosing to, and they're going to, like, trust that the divine masculine is going to speak their truth. Any last messages within this deck of what the divine masculine needs to heal within themselves? Can I get one more, please? Thank you. Okay, so we have listening. So not only are they going to speak their truth, but they're also going to listen. I love that progression. You have 23 to 24. Then you have visualization, and you also have grounding. Okay. Hey, look, you have communication at the bottom, divine feminine. You got that telepathic communication happening here. So not only are they wanting to speak their truth, but they're also listening. They're listening to their thoughts. They're listening to the visions that's coming through. They're listening to their heart. And they're also listening to the telepathic communication coming through. So one of the things that I've learned regarding now living with my divine masculine is that y'all cannot hide, okay? So what you're thinking literally is communicated to your divine masculine or your divine feminine. So you best be thinking loving, positive thoughts about your union. Because if you're thinking about the drama, about there's no communication, about how they ghosted you, about whatever that is just not in alignment with love, they feel that. And so I one time had a really big upset with my masculine, and I just did not want to speak to him. And I was having arguments in my head. And I specifically said something in my head where I was like, after I said it, I was like, that is not loving, and I don't want to be speaking, even in my imaginative mind, like visualizing having an argument with him. Like, I don't want to be doing that. And then he came home, and it had been like 3 or 4 hours since I had that thought, but he came home from work and he was like, I heard you today. And I was like, what do you mean you heard me? And he's like, I heard you say, and then he said exactly what I thought. And I was like, oh my God, you did not. He's like, I did. He's like, I was eating lunch and it just like came through as if you were in my room. So, guys, telepathic communication is so real when it comes to you and your twin flame. And so, whatever you're entertaining, if it's not loving and it's not in alignment with love, they hear you. They're listening, okay? So, really be very aware of what you're communicating in your mind about your union, because they have to reflect back to you what you believe. So if you believe they're not communicating with you, they're going to reflect back to you not communicating with you. If you believe they don't want to be in a relationship with you, or that it's too hard, they're going to reflect back not wanting to commit and choosing to maybe entertain a soulmate relationship. So you really have to allow yourself to like visualize how you want to see your union. You want to allow yourself to speak life into your union, speak truth into your union, speak love into your union. And when you do, you're going to ground that into your physical reality. Like you can't make it up. That's how I manifested my union, was doing the mirror exercise, healing all my blocks to love and relationships, and to stepping into my true divine authentic self. And then I had to change how I viewed my union For a long time, I viewed my masculine as not wanting to be in union with me because he didn't want to take on a parent role of helping raise my children because he felt like he wasn't good enough. Like, that's what he said. He's like, I feel like I'm not good enough to help raise your children. Like, I don't know the first thing about being a parent. And so, because I continue entertaining that, that was our block for months. And then finally, I decided I'm going to release attachment to this man, and I'm going to choose in my heart that my true twin flame loves being a father to my children. He loves their relationship. He loves teaching them and learning from them. And he loves loving them. And he loves me. And he loves them because they're an extension of me. And I just imagine us being just this beautiful, happy family. And within a month, one day he texted me and he was just like, hey, I've been thinking, God's been working on my heart, and I want to explore moving forward with this connection. And I would love to meet the boys within the next few weeks if you're okay with that. And I was just like, oh my, yes, I'm okay with that. Absolutely. But it's because I had to visualize it and come to that truth within me and ground that as my truth, and then it grounded into my physical reality. Now we live in one home together. We live as a family. People who meet us literally think that our boys are his biological children because of how close their connection is. Well, in truth, he's their spiritual parent. He's their spiritual father. But they look like him. They resemble him in many ways, physically, emotionally, mentally. Like, it's really an amazing connection. And he is now at a place where he's just like, I am so blessed. I'm so grateful that I said yes, because oh my gosh, they've given me so much and I've learned so much. I've healed so much. It's healed my heart so much to have them in my life. He's grown so much as a man within the last year having them in his life. And so, what he feared and what he avoided for so long ended up being the most beneficial thing for him. But I had to change my mind on how I viewed it. And once I shifted, so did he, because we're one consciousness. So that's where that telepathic communication comes in, y'all. Like, if you're thinking one thing about your union, they're going to mirror that, and they're going to also have that belief too, because you share the same core beliefs. If you at your core believe you're meant to be in union and this is the person that God created for you, and you're meant to be together in a physical relationship, then that is what you're going to experience. But remember, it's more than just a physical relationship. It's more than just having your ultimate lover and someone to hug and kiss at night. They are your ultimate teacher. They're going to mirror to you your core beliefs that are out of alignment with love so that you can love yourself there. And then they're going to reflect that love back to you. So I really hope this is helpful. That kind of turned more into a union energy at the end. But that is what the divine masculine is working through. Divine feminine, they're really calling for you to have a more positive outlook for regarding your union. And as you heal that, so will they reflect that back to you. If you would like a personal reading, definitely check out my website. Thank you so much for those of you who have continuously followed my journey and continuously watched my videos. I really love you guys so much, and your support is just amazing, and it really does encourage me to continue putting content out there and really sharing with you about the truth of twin flames. I see so much content out there that really spews a lot of separation consciousness. Your masculine is still asleep while you're awakened. That's a bunch of BS. Like, do not listen to that kind of content, because you and your divine masculine are equally awakened. You're one. There's no separation. And I would love to help support you in going deeper with your own personal reading or with one-on-one coaching. And definitely don't forget to like and subscribe. I love you guys so much. Peace, love, and faith. Bye-bye.